What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. We have drawn 2-2 at the Amex Stadium. After being 2-0 down, we claim a credible point away at Brighton. It wasn't going to be an easy game. I thought that going into it. I didn't think Brighton was going to be a game which I'm expecting to win. I really thought it was going to be a tough game, and so it kind of proved. I think looking at the lineup, I wasn't too unhappy. I think we made some changes. Odegaard comes in on the left-hand side, started Bergvall getting the 10. Udogie gets his first start of the season, and I think we started off really well. Udogie, Odegaard, really providing some really good moments down the left-hand side. Great link-up between the pair. Early on, and I think they were a kind of thorn in Brighton's side for a lot of the game. But I thought they started off really well, but we got caught cold after 10 minutes after dominating the early proceedings. Brighton, one long ball over the top, Minte catching the defence out, and goes. We were pressing really high up. He catches us out, goes through one-on-one, rounds Vicario, and makes it 1-0 to Brighton. And that was kind of a lesson in how we can be dominating, but if we're not careful, we can be caught cold in the counter-attack, and Brighton kind of absolutely did us on that one moment. And from then on, I think we still continued to play good football. We created good chances. I think Richarlison was being a nuisance up front. Kudus was causing problems with Kadioglu. Bergvall, though, was struggling to get in the game. I think the real problem was our midfield. Paulinho, Bentancur, Bergvall weren't really dominating it as much as they should in the middle of the park. And when it comes to on the ball creating chances, we created some half chances, but there weren't real clear-cut opportunities. We were kind of struggling to progress the ball again, kind of in dangerous areas. I think the football we were playing has probably been better than it's been in the previous games. I think it was a bit sharper, a bit more incisive. But when it came to clear-cut opportunities, yeah, I mean, we had one from Richarlison. Porro plays an early ball over the top, which Richarlison fires wide. Odegaard had an opportunity on the half volley, which he flashed wide. And then Brighton obviously make it 2-0. With a goal out of absolutely nothing. They kind of took an opportunity to press us quite high up. Bergvall messes up a clearance. It falls to Ayari. He's kind of about 30 yards from goal, wide to the left-hand side. He cuts inside and just absolutely hammers it into the far corner. But you have to say, Vicario has to hang in head in shame in that one, because it's an absolute horror show from him. He gets a massive hand to it, but allows the ball to spill into the back of the net. No keeper at this level should be allowing that goal to go in. It's very disappointing from him. It's a decent strike from Ayari, don't get me wrong. It's not in the corner. He gets a big hand on his he gets a big left-handed wrist to it, and he allowed it. It wasn't strong enough. He allowed the ball to spill into the back of the net, and that gives Brighton a massive advantage in this game. It gives Tottenham a mountain to climb. Lucky for Spurs, we kept probing and pressing Brighton. We didn't give up. We didn't kind of let our heads drop, and before the half-time whistle, we did get the goal back, and that was crucial, I think, in this game, in us getting a point, because it just gave us a little bit of boost before half-time, knowing we're still in this game and we can still score. Good build-up play this time between Kudus, Bentancur dribbling into the area, lays off Odegaard, who passes it back to him. Bentancur showed composure, laying it off for Mohamed Kudus, whose effort was blocked actually by Richarlison himself before his second touch was him scrambling it over the line and making it 2-1. Richarlison getting his third goal of the season and continuing his impressive start to the season. So we make it 2-1 just before half-time, which I think was probably deserved to get back in the game. And second half, I think Spurs will feel quite unlucky we didn't end up probably with all 3 points, albeit Brighton, once Spurs equalised, probably looked more likely to score. But we'll go through how the half went. So started the half fairly strongly, creating some kind of half chances, some decent openings, some crosses, but weren't again being incisive enough until Frank made this one change that completely changed the trajectory of the game, in my opinion. He took off Bentancur, he put on Xavi Simons, he put Xavi in the 10, he put Bentancur a bit deeper in the 8, and put Bergvall next to Paulinho with Xavi in the 10. And I think that completely changed the game. I think Bergvall was, having a bit of a lackluster game before the change of his position, and all of a sudden he became alive. I think he was absolutely immense all of a sudden in that number 8 position. He was battling away, putting in strong challenges, but also on the ball, always looking forward, always looking progressive. And Brighton didn't really know how to deal with him. They were so used to having Bentancur and Paulinho there throughout the game, who were playing safe passes. All of a sudden, Bergvall asking lots of different questions of their midfield, and he was finding the answers as well. And as well, Xavi, what an absolute delight he was in that second half. Was a real joy to behold. He came on in his favourite position, in the number 10, and he showed exactly why everyone's been calling for him to play in that position, because I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Getting on the ball, was creative, was able to dribble, weave in and out of challenges, had a shot from the edge of the area which was brilliantly saved from Verbruggen, who tipped it wide. A brilliant effort from Xavi Simons. He was just playing in those pockets of spaces, make it really hard for Brighton to pick him up. And the goal came from another good piece of play from him. He just weaves in and out 2 challenges, plays a really good switcher play out wide to Kudus, who plays an early ball in, cuts inside, plays an early ball in it. Bit of luck, falls in off Van Hecke, and we get the equaliser. And Kudus was getting more and more joy in that second half. Xavi could have scored before as well. Kudus with a brilliant run down the right side, cuts it back. Bergvall with an expert dummy that leaves Xavi with just to stroke it home, and he hits it wide. So close as well. But I think he was causing lots of trouble, Xavi. And obviously with 10 minutes to go, we did deservedly get that equaliser. It was all Tottenham looking like we were going to change it. But we get the equaliser, and I have to say, he then changes it again, Frank, puts on Archie Gray, puts on Spence, and I thought we kind of gave up a lot of the momentum we had in those last 10 minutes, and all of a sudden Brighton got a second wind. They looked way a bit more in the ascendancy, I felt, in the latter stages of the game. And Welbeck has obviously had come on, he was stretching the game, he looked dangerous. Milner had a bit of energy about him, and they forced Tottenham back quite a bit. I thought Spence came on, had a nice cameo, but we were forced back. We didn't really get close, apart from a late effort from Kudus, which was deflected just over the bar. That was the closest we came to scoring. But at 2-2, all the momentum was with Tottenham, and I don't think we took full advantage of it. But I have to say, 2-0 down, I think it's a brilliant result. I think the way we came back, we changed things tactically. I think the way Frank managed the game, you've got to give him a lot of credit, because at 2-0 down away at a very difficult side like Brighton, who have got lots of quality, a very smart manager, I think we actually dealt with it really well. And we come back to earn a very valuable point. And I'm going to take that point. I think it's a good point. Before the game, I was saying it's not going to be an easy game for Spurs. I don't think this is a game I take for granted or expect to win. So when we come back from 2-0 down and we manage to get back in the game the way we did, put pressure on Brighton, force mistakes. I think the second half, the way we were pressing them was fantastic, and Brighton really struggled to deal with it. And credit to Tottenham and credit to Thomas Frank. I think we got a point in very, very difficult circumstances. We played a lot better football today as well. I have to say, I think we're starting to get to grips with how Frank wants us to be on the ball. I think the football was a lot better today. And I think, we created some good opportunities. And I think we saw a midfield today that I want to see a lot more. Bergvall in the 8 and Xavi in the 10. I want to see that a lot more often after today's performance, because we look so much better when that midfield 3 was playing. So I think Frank has to learn from that in a lot of these kind of games. We have to back our quality, and I feel like when we play these Bournemouths and Brightons, we want those extra protection with Bentancur and Paulinho together, and it's not enough quality on the ball, and we need some more of quality, in my opinion. So you get Xavi in there, you get Bergvall in there. I think that's really going to help us. Some notable mentions for man of the match for me: Destiny Udogie, absolutely phenomenal. I thought he, for me, best player on the pitch. I thought he was fantastic. Came in for his first start, barely put a foot wrong. I thought he really showed what we were missing down that left-hand side, that ability to get to the byline, create chances, get those cutbacks. But defensively, this is what I was saying about Udogie. When he's at his best, like he was today, he is fantastic defensively. And I know Spence has been brilliant. Sorry. I know Spencer's been brilliant defensively since coming back, but I thought Doggy was phenomenal as well. And this is what I've been saying about him. When he's at his best, he is nearly as good as Spence defensively. And Minter had a really difficult time up against him in those one-on-one situations. I know he scored. It was more when he was caught, when Doggy was caught up the pitch, but I thought Doggy was fantastic, was a bundle of energy throughout the whole game. Brighton just really struggled to deal with him. So I thought Doggy, for me, probably man of the match. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Xavi had a brilliant cameo. I actually think Richarlison had a pretty decent game. He was a nuisance. I thought he wasn't being bullied in this one. I actually thought he was providing a really big battle for Van Hecke, who I thought had a good game, got his goal, and was a nuisance throughout the whole game. His link-up play a lot better today than it had been in previous games. So, a really good play from Richarlison. Bergvall, superb when he moved a bit deeper. I thought in the 10, wasn't quite cutting it today. Once he moved to the 8, I thought he was absolutely phenomenal, maybe even the best player on the pitch. And yeah, Xavi, fantastic in the 10 once he moved in, once he came on. Fantastic. I thought Romero had a really big second half. I thought he looked really good. Really happy with him. Obviously Van der Ven as well. Yeah, obviously Vicario, we've spoken about him. Bad mistake. Got to be doing better there for that goal. I'm sorry. Yeah, so good point. 2-0 down away from home. I think you've got to be somewhat content with that. So I think a twinge of annoyance that we didn't go on to win the game, and we should have really, especially in that second half, we had the ascendancy and we didn't quite take full advantage of it. But I think a lot of positives from today, a lot of positives from Frank, who, by the way, came back from 2-0 down for the full 1-0 down even, came back from behind for the first time as Tottenham manager. I had questions of Frank saying, it's all well and good managing the game when you're in the lead, but what are you capable of when you're behind? Can you change the game? And can you get us back in the game? He did that today. Yeah, people in the comments, Kudus, sensational second half. Kadioglu will be having nightmares of Kudus in that second half. He ran rings around him, got the assist for the own goal as well. So yeah, Kudus absolutely fantastic in that second half. Yeah, I think Johnson wasn't the right sub, to be honest. I didn't like his cameo. Wasn't good. I think I'd rather Tell in the situation off the left-hand side rather than Kudus. Rather than Johnson, sorry. I thought Kudus was brilliant that second half. I mentioned him, all right? I think Kudus was brilliant. So yeah, lots to be encouraged about, lots to be happy about, but it was only a draw. We didn't win the game. So we'll be happy with it. You take the point. It's one of those points where I think when you look back on late in the season, you think it'll be a point we we'll be happy about come the end of the season. Hopefully it's a valuable point. Not many teams will be 2-0 down to Brighton and come back. So fair play to Spurs, fair play to Frank. Lots of positive performances in there. Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on today's game? Are you happy with performance? Who stood out for you? Let me know in the comment section below. But that is your instant match reaction. But now is your chance to have your say on all events that happened today. Now, I want to know what your opinions are. The link is in the description below. Let me know what your thoughts are in what happened in today's game. Are you happy with the performance? The link's in the description if you want to come in and call in. Quickly, though, we have some super chats, and we have RRK, who says Simmons has to play in the middle for creativity. Saar, Paulinia and Xavi as middle seems strongest balance, and Richie or Brennan on the left until we get a better left wing. I agree. Xavi showed today. I think he was absolutely phenomenal in the middle. He showed he just has to be in the middle. He's so much more comfortable there. I really need to see him start in the number 10 position more for me. Yeah, I completely agree with that. All right, let's start getting some callers on. And we have got one say, I think you have to plug the headphones back into. It's all right. All right. Okay, let's start getting some callers on. And let's get first up Callum. How you doing, Callum?
Hey, how you doing, Sam? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thank you. Apart from this nasty cough. Apologies about that, by the way. Look, 2-0 down today. Got it back to 2-2. Is it a point gained or 2 points lost for you?
It's definitely 2 points lost. Like, I think to put Bentancur and Paulinho as the double pivot in a game like this when the midfield wasn't very combative, and it showed. But then also we also had so much space in between the lines. Like our defense, like our line was dropped back deep, but there was so much space between the midfield and Bentancur and Paulinho. They were not tracking the runners, so they were just getting free on the break almost every time. And then to see Bergval, like he was very, hit or miss in for large parts of the game, probably until like the 55th minute he started to kick on. But having him up there was just it was very poor. He was making a lot of silly mistakes. Um, but it definitely seemed like we were all calling for Javi to get into that 10 spot. And once he did, you just saw us open up. You saw like the free fluid play, and you saw the best of Bergval too, moving up and down, not being like the lone creator. And then also it freed up Pauline to really just be a defensive-minded player and let Bergval progress the play, and then Javi in the final third. So it felt like to like that last 30 minutes of the game, that's when we started to kick on, and it was just disappointing to see it because
Yeah.
everyone's been calling for it. It was very obvious.
Yeah, I think it really changed, didn't it, the game when we went Bergval into the 8, Xavi into the 10. And I think you really started to see Tottenham play a lot more incisively. And I think we really kind of took the game to Brighton at that point. I think we were struggling a bit to break them down for real clear-cut chances before that moment. And I think I agree with you. I think we need to start seeing Bergval and Xavi together in that middle. I think it could be a game changer for us. But in terms of coming back, how much credit do you give Frank for changing things up and coming back from 2-0 down against a very good Brighton side where I don't think many teams are going to be 2-0 down to them and come back?
Yeah, no, I feel people really forget that Brighton they're not no mugs. They're not like a Burnley or Sunderland. Like this is a very solid squad. They're very combative. They have a good manager, good tactical setup. So it's really tough to go to their place, be 2-0 down, and then come up. That deserves a lot of credit. But I worry that Frank may see this as almost like a last resort and not the beginning, like what we should be like in the beginning of the game. Instead of putting Xavi in the left in the beginning and then shifting him to the 10, he's going to start keeping him on the left. And if we're down, put him to the 10. You know what I mean? So I'm just worried about that. Time will tell. But I do have to give him props, making the right substitutions, putting him on, letting us play freely, and just take more risk. I do got to give him credit for that. I feel like honestly, if this was Ange, we probably would have been down like a couple more goals. So you got to give him props to that for sure. You just got to hope that he sees this and makes the correct adjustments. That's all.
I agree. And look, as I was saying before the game, like this is Odebe's first start for Frank in the Premier League, Doggy's as well. So he's still got so much learning to do about this squad. I'm sure he's figuring that all out. Who really stood out for you in terms of if you're giving man of the match?
Honestly, you'd always look at Shout, but I really feel like Kudus for that second half performance was our real only outlet. Like the ball was shifted to him, you knew something was going to happen almost every time. His end product is still to be decided. I feel like it needs to get better. Just that final pass, that final shot, whatever it may be. But you probably would have to say. I mean, for me, Dogi or Kudus, just because like compared to the rest of the players, his shift was well deserved. But I know this is what you asked, but I feel like Bentancur is such a hit or miss for me. I don't know why. Like I feel like he's so good at like just doing the simple things, but it's like he does the simple things when we need him to be risky and go forward. But then he's risky when we don't need him to be risky, and then he loses the ball and he can't track back because he's not a very fast player. So he's such a to the eye, he's like such a weird player to see because you just want him to do certain things, and then he does the exact opposite. It's a tough one. I would wonder if you agree, if you see that the same way I'm seeing it.
So I think when he's like at his most focused, I think he makes good decisions. But I understand what you're saying. Like sometimes he just goes into these modes where he's just making some brainless decisions. Like he'll play a blind pass inside for no reason when he just has to take a touch and play a bit safer. But I understand as well, when you've got him and Paolini next to each other, one of them has to take responsibility to progress the ball. And maybe he feels like I need to do that, but I don't know, he's still missing something in there. And I think once we moved Bergval there, it was like night and day. Bergval
Yeah,
like takes that responsibility, but actually has that quality to match as well, doesn't he? And
absolutely.
it was just absolutely brilliant. Yeah, for me, to just touch on the doggy, you said, yeah, he's up there for man of the match. What do you think if that kind of performance? What do you think he offers there, different to Spence? And do you think next game in the Premier League does he start there ahead of Spence?
I would say yes, just because I feel like we haven't gone off to a good start like that probably for the entire season. When he was making those marauding runs down on the outside and in the inside of the winger, you could see the difference. He could also play the first touch pass. He could go back on his left and go on the byline to cross it in. And if Bergval was like or Richarlison were like a step ahead of Dunk or the other center back, then we would have had at least another goal or two. So he was doing his part for sure. He was fantastic defensively. He bailed us out twice. There was like
Yes.
a 4v2 at one point, bailed us out. Fantastic. So he definitely offers something different to Spence. But I also think that 1v1 defending, he was good this game, but we haven't seen that consistently. So I think time will tell with that too. Maybe he's been working on that, getting up to full fitness as well. So I really think he does have to start on that left. And then maybe Spence go on the right, because Porro does need a rest. He's playing 90 minutes for maybe the past 5 games, international break as well. So you need to give him a rest, give him a little time to maybe refuel, and then we'll probably see the best of him as well.
Talk to me about the second goal we conceded though, Vicario. How much blame do you put on him for the goal? Do you think it's just a good strike, or do you think Vicario's got to be doing better?
I mean, it was a decent strike, but nothing that some of the quality of a car that he's shown, he should be saving that. I think he'll be disappointed in that. I think Bergval will be more than disappointed that he just blindly tossed the ball into the middle of the park like that and just and also no one closed them down as well. And it was just there was so many defensive mistakes there and we just collapsed. For that like 30-second interval, we just completely collapsed. So that was pretty horrid, but you got to give the team props that we came back. We did not stop. And I feel like when like they were under the cost for about for maybe 30 minutes and it seemed like organized chaos. Like we were pressing very just sporadic and there was it almost seemed like there was no system, but we were winning our duels. We were pushing forward. Players in our position. Romero was in the middle of the park at some point. So it was organized chaos. Like we were gaining control, but it was just like it was freedom. It was like Frank told him go, just get the ball, put it in the back of the net kind of thing. Obviously there was more to it, but from the eye, that's what it kind of looked like. But you got to give him props. You got to give the team props to come back from 2-0 deficit for sure.
So, do you feel after today's performance result, is there more positives or negatives, would you say?
I would say there's more positives, just because I haven't seen us build up play like that yet. I think, and most of our goals have come from set pieces, whatever it may be, and we didn't score a single one from set piece today. We didn't even get. I feel like we didn't even have any clear chances from set pieces. So to see the left side, specifically, what was interesting is the left side. I felt like was the more dangerous for a majority of the game until maybe the last 30 minutes, and that was mainly due to Udogi because he was able to go on his left, put a ball in, and it was working. Like the link up between Odebear and Udogi as well. It was going really well. So it was. I think there's more positive, but I really feel like defensively, sometimes it was like we were so open. It felt like we were going back to last season. You know what I mean? It was like the midfield. There was just a huge gap between the two pivots and the center backs. It was. I was like there was like a 12, 15 yard difference between them, and there was just Brighton players right in the pockets, and they weren't being tracked. And it was like I swear there's got to be a better defensive system. Frank is so set on this defensive structure, but we're just not. It just felt so open. I don't know if
Yeah,
maybe you
first
felt the
goal, I don't know
same.
what happened. No one's near Minter, is he?
Yeah, that's what I was just like. How does that happen in this with two six like number six minded players? Because I don't really see Benziger as a six as an eight anymore. I feel like he's more of a six. So you put Paulinho and Benziger there, and we're still open. So that just made no sense. But then it's also we don't have control because we don't have a ball player. We only have Bergval, and he can't do it all from so far up the pitch. You need him to drop in. So well, you're right. Once he moved to that number 8 role, and then you had Javi as a 10, it was like everything was fluid, and I think it's just a learning curve, and I think Frank will probably learn a lot from that. I hope he does, instead of reverting back to like two pivots. So I think there's definitely more positives for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And considering, look, I've had a few not complaints, but I've had a few concerns about in recent weeks. Yes, we're winning, and I'm delighted that we're winning. We're keeping clean sheets is great, but there are clear issues about how we're able to create chances and build up all this kind of stuff. And I definitely saw improvements in that today. And I know we didn't win today, but we came back. Also, we did something that I also question, like when we're losing to these like decent teams. Do we have enough about us to come back and get back in the game and against Bournemouth we didn't. We conceded early and we didn't get back in the game. But today we went 2-0 down away from home against a good Brighton team, and we more than deserved for me to get a point at least out of the game.
Yeah.
More deserved to get back in the game. So that's a big positive. I'm not expecting to win every game at this stage of the season. Frank is still so early on in his tenure, but I'm seeing improvements. That's all I can ask for. I'm seeing improvements. So yeah, I'm happy. But look, Callum, appreciate your time, mate. Appreciate you coming on and giving your opinion. And we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, Callum.
Have a good one.
I'm trying to see if there's any quotes from Frank coming in. I can't see any just yet. A sec. But yeah, didn't mention Paulinho, to be fair. 7 tackles today and 8 out of 10 ground duels. So it was a bit of a monster performance from him as well. Especially had to be when Bergval was next to Simmons as well. So he had a bit more kind of responsibility defensively. All right, let's keep going and let's get David on. Hey, David, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Yeah.
How do you assess what you saw today? Is it a point gained or 2 dropped?
I think it's a point gain. The Amex Stadium, it's a hard place to go, as last season we were winning 2-0 and then we lost 3-2. First half, a half to forget. Second half, I would say we were much better. We showed that we wanted the ball, we were aggressive, and we were pushing to get that equalizer. And I think it was a good performance in the second half, defensively and attacking wise. First half, I think we should have done better defensively. I think we made too many mistakes, which led to both of those 2 goals.
Yeah, who's at fault for both goals, do you think?
I think the first goal, I'm just going to say this out there, I think it's Van der Ven. He goes into the midfield, leaving the space for Minter to kind of make that run. He creates that space, so then that leads to that goal. So I think Mickey Van der Ven did jump into that challenge a bit too quickly without thinking of how much space he's leaving behind him. The second goal with Bergval should have been a better clearance. Should have just booted it up the pitch, in my opinion. But with Vicario, positioning wise, shocking. He should have been more centered. But to be fair, the shot did swerve a bit. That's what I saw. Last second, it did swerve a bit. So I do think it was a mixture of his positioning and the shot.
Okay, fair play. And what do you know? Frank made a few tactical tweaks in that second half. Brought Bergval into the 8, brought Simmons on. How do you think that impacted the game?
I think it was a great change for Simmons to come on, and Bentancur to come off. Simmons he came to life. He created so many chances. I think he should have done better in some chances, such as with the Kudus crossing the ball into him. He should have buried that into the bottom corner. But I'll let him off this time because he's kind of getting used to the Prem. So I think give him a few more, like 2 more games, and then we'll see the best out of him. I'm hoping. And then Simon's he just started dribbling past all the guys, which I thought was perfect. Exactly what we need, a boost of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people were saying Kudus as well in that second half, putting a really strong display. Who do you give man of the match to?
Oh, it's a difficult one. I'm gonna have to say Kudus was good in the second half, and he did create both those two goals. However, I would have to give it to Paulinho just because of how many duels he won. He kind of bossed. Sometimes he would make sure that nothing would happen. He would win those duels, and so I'd have to give the man of the match to Paulinho.
And in terms of a doggy, he put in a very good performance on his return to the lineup as well. What does that mean for him? Do you think he comes? Is he our back at first choice now, or has Spence still got the shirt?
This is this is the tricky. This is tricky. Both players, they offer something different. Spence, he's better defensively in my opinion, one-on-one, way better. However, when it comes to making those overlapping runs, I would say Udogi is better. So I think it really depends on the game. I think depending on the team we're playing, that's when Frank should decide whether to use Udogi or Spence. I think if we're playing one of like a Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal, and we have to go more defensive, I think bring on Spence. But when we're coming up against a team where we want to play a bit more attacking football, I'd say bring on a doggy because he offers a bit more creativity than Spence does.
All right, David, appreciate you coming on and giving your opinion. Thank you for your
very
time,
much.
and I'll see you
Come on, you
soon.
Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Wow, really generous super chat here from Try. Let me get it up 1 sec. They say, could we experiment and rotate a doggy at left wing at times in front of Spence? Not saying we'll have the next Bale, but maybe he could offer something we've been lacking since we have Jed to cover behind, both in form and a doggy has played attacking roles in his youth as well at times. I mean, that would be a very interesting thing to try, maybe in a game where, you know, like we go away to I was about to say away to PSG or something, but even we didn't need to do that when we played PSG. But yeah, maybe like a game where we're really underdogs and we need that real defensive cover. Could a doggy do a job there potentially? It's not something it'd be my go-to, but I'd be very interested to see how that goes. I think a doggy, he's good when he's good. I wouldn't say he's good enough to be a winger, kind of good, but I see where you're coming from, RRK. I see where you're coming from. Let's keep going though. Let's bring on YNK. How you doing, mate? Thanks for calling in.
Some.
Hey.
I'm good, thank you.
Tell me what you thought of the game today.
I thought the first half was. I thought we started off well in the first opening minutes, and then Brighton just came to us. They got the 2 goals, and I thought the game was over because all the horrid matches that we've had, I remember against Brighton. So I feel like Brighton's the only team that I'm not confident against at all.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, especially 2-0 down as well, you're thinking it's going to be a real struggle to get back in this game. But considering we're in that situation, would you say it's a point gained or 2 points dropped?
Definitely a point gained, because I feel like it could have easily went another way in the match, personally. So, yeah.
I agree. I think coming back from 2-0 down, you can't take that for granted. And Brighton are a good team. They're going to do that. You know, they beat Man City at the Amex just a couple of weeks ago. They're a very good team at home with some very good players. So I think it's to the credit. What do you think Frank did that got us to get back in the game?
Oh, I just wanted to say some. I think, I don't know if you remember, like, in recent memory, all of the matches that we played against Brighton, we've been losing. And if we have bad performances. I don't know if you taken that into account.
Okay, yeah, well, our recent form against Brighton's not been the best, has it? Yeah,
Yeah,
last
it's been
season they did
terrible.
the double over us. That's
Yeah, it's
true.
been really terrible. So
So,
I
but
think
but
I think
yeah, go on.
what I wanted to say, you asked me a question. What did
Yeah,
Frank do?
what did Frank do? How do you think he got us back in the game?
I think the goal that Richarlison had at the end of the first half really gave us hope to go on and get the second one in the second half and try and win the game. So I could see us pressing more aggressively and really going to get the game,
Sorry, just
going
been a
at the
red
next.
card in the Chelsea game. Apologies for my reaction there. Sanchez has been sent off.
Oh no, don't worry. So my dad.
Uh, just tell me who you thought was man of the match.
I thought man of the match for us.
Yeah,
Uh, I think in the second half, Paulinho had a great game, to be honest. So I think for us, man of the match was Paulinho. I don't know about you.
I gave it to a doggy. I thought he was phenomenal throughout the whole game, especially it was his
Cool.
first start of the season as well. I thought he played so well. There's a few shouts, but as well, I want to chat about Xavi. Came on, played in his natural position more than the number 10. How do you think he fared in that position?
I think he looked so much better in his natural position. I think when he came on, it really changed the game for us, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was so much better in the 10, and I thought he looked so much more comfortable there, doesn't he? I thought then out on the left, you can see he could he can go both ways. He's can pick up those pockets of space, which make it so awkward to be picked up. Another question as well, Odebear kind of had a bit of a mini audition on the left-hand side. No one's really nailed down that left-hand spot, have they, so far this season? He had a go today. How do you think he got on?
I think Odobe and Udogie had a good partnership on the left hand side, and it made us look a lot more dangerous there. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I felt.
I agree because the doggy was getting to the byline, and I thought Odebear was linking up so much better. Like Odebear was doing what Brennan doesn't do, which is finding those little passes and link up, and then a doggy was doing what Spence doesn't do, which was getting to that byline and looking so much more comfortable at cutting the ball back and being on his left foot. So I think there's a few things, I think that why that left hand side looked so much better for me.
And I think that people are a little too harsh on Odobe as well because I haven't really seen Odobe be too bad. I've seen Theo perform way worse than what Odobe is. So I think people are too harsh on Odobe personally.
Yeah, I agree. And look, he looked bright in times. I don't think he did quite enough offensively, but he looked bright, to be fair. And look, I want to see
Doesn't
more from
have
him.
that end product. Doesn't have the end product.
And I thought it was a bit of a mistake to take off Odebear for Johnson. I would have brought on Tell because I thought Johnson offered very little when he came on.
Why don't we try playing Johnson through the middle?
Yeah, that's what people are saying because he's got those striker instincts, doesn't he? That's something we can try. I thought Richarlison had a decent game, to be fair. Wasn't too unhappy with him. But look, 1K, appreciate you calling in, mate. Appreciate you giving your time. You have
Some,
a
I don't know
nice...
if you remember
Go on.
from the last time I called in.
Sorry?
I don't know if you remember me from the last time I called in.
I remember. From
You
South
remember
Africa.
me?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure when
It's
it
me.
was, but I do remember you called in before.
It was before the Europa League game, the final. It was before the
For the
final.
final. Jeez.
Yes.
And a lot has
Yes.
changed since then.
A lot has changed, and I'm happy that we got rid of Ange personally, to be honest.
Well, look, I'm liking Frank so far, and I've got to give him credit. I think he managed the game well today, and I think it's been a good start to life as management from him. I got no complaint. I got very few complaints.
I agree as well. I actually wanted him before we got Ange.
Hey, he's a
Before
smart
we got Ange,
manager.
I wanted him, but you can't complain. You can't complain because he gave us the trophy as well.
Exactly. So I think we've got the best of both worlds, probably, you could argue. But look, 1K, we have to move on. There's other people there. So appreciate you giving your time and calling in again. And we'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Come on, you
Cheers, mate.
Spurs.
Come on. That is 1K. So just quickly, so Chelsea had Robert Sanchez sent off for a foul on Mbuemo as he was 1-on-1. So Chelsea down to 10 men and made an immediate double substitution after that red card as well. So frantic start Old Trafford between Man United and Chelsea. Let's bring on Brow. How you doing, mate? Thanks for calling in.
Hey, greetings from across the pond in Boston, Mass.
Boston, Mass. Come on.
Yeah.
Big up to you.
Coys.
Big up to you, Brow. Appreciate you calling in. What were your thoughts today? What did you think of the game overall?
So I watched a fair bit of it from the phone while my son was playing. But having said that, I just think the fact that we were away, the fact that we went 2-0 down, I think the most important thing was the response. And I think that Frank gave us that response. I think, we're in a growth process, right? And, I think sometimes are very demanding, not understanding the situation that we came from and how truly distressed we were in a number of places. We need a left. We all know that. We'll do that business at the middle of the year. But for right now, I'm looking for Frank to continue to get that in to learn. This is his first time now balancing international with domestic play, and let's see where this journey goes.
I agree. I think coming back from 2-0 down against a team like Brighton, is you can't take that for granted. And Brighton are a good team in their own right. They just, always at home against top sides. They give them a real tough game. And finding ourselves in that situation was never going to be easy. But I thought we managed it quite well, didn't we?
Yeah, we would have folded. We would have folded in earlier times. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably right about that. What do you think really changed the game? What for you? What really got us back into it?
Well, I think some of the substitutions helped. I think moving Simons to a natural 10 position helped a lot. Tried to address some things. I mean, the biggest concern, just kind of shifting a little bit globally, is if you can't play Johnson as a striker, I'm not sure why he's out there. I mean, that to me is the biggest deficit, between that and just not having enough creativity. But it seems as soon as we made that shift, it seemed like the link up got a little bit more creative. I saw the chances and we started to come on. We just ran out of time.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, I thought at 2-2 we dropped off a bit, didn't we? And I think if anything,
Yep.
Brighton might have been the one more likely to score at 2-2, which was a bit of an annoyance. But
Why is Frank allergic to starting Xavi Simons at the 10?
great question, because tell me about his performance for you in that position.
I mean, that's where he's born to play, mate. That's the natural spot for him. I mean, we're trying to. It's almost like you get a wound on your leg, and then you create a wound on your arm to solve the wound on your leg. The issue is a left wing, but the Xavi needs to be in his natural position in this. Just as far as I'm concerned, he's a special player on the team. We've only got two special players, just in my humble opinion, and so he needs to be where he can do the most damage.
Yeah, and I think he looks so much more comfortable, doesn't he, in that
Yeah.
position? I thought Bergvall as well. I know Bergvall's been in good form, but he just came alive today when he moved
Yes.
a bit deeper, didn't he?
Absolutely, and the only issue there is as long as Paulinho, who had a hell of a game, can cover deep and make up for the fact that two of those guys, in certain situations, they're very creative, but they get muscled off the ball and they can get overwhelmed. As long as Paulinho's playing out of his hair, out of his hide, which in my mind, he's almost the man of the match. You can at least compensate for some of that.
You said almost man of the match. Who was man of the match?
Oh, I don't know. I always struggle when there's not a clear win to say the man of the match. Hey, just give it to him. Give that man his flowers. But yeah, I think he probably stood out the most. But I think if Xavi had started early on, and if Kudus hadn't had the first half, or at least in the first half did what in the second half, maybe we shift that vote.
Who else stood out for you? Anyone other notable performances for you?
I mean, the only other thing I want to say is I thought the save was there, and I just I always struggle when it comes to the goalkeeping play because I think I feel like it's always two steps forward, one step back. I just thought that as the type of goalkeeper I think he is, I think he'd be very disappointed that he didn't make that save.
Yeah, agreed. I think he's got to be stopping that, doesn't he? I know it's a decent shot, but
Yeah,
he'll be very disappointed, won't he? That,
yeah, it wasn't criminal.
He let us let him.
Yeah, it wasn't
Got
criminal.
a big hand to it, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's got to be stronger with that still. Then.
But overall, more positives today than negatives, would you say?
Yeah, green shoots, man. We're just we got to let Frank continue to grow and mature. I don't understand not pulling for the man. I'll be honest with you. I was, I was a big Ange guy, but I made the shift and I'm all aboard. So let's work behind this guy and let's work behind his team to try to build something here.
All right. Brow, appreciate you calling in, mate. Thanks for your time, and we'll speak to you soon.
Coys.
Come on. Man United look like they've taken the lead, but I don't know if it's offside, actually. VAR will draw the lines, and they'll get very technical, but United have scored the opening goal. Some quotes from Fabian Hertzler in the meantime said, "It was not easy when you're 2-0 down and it's 2-2. I think there was only one team looking to score the third, and it was us." That was Hertzler. That's what Hertzler had to say. He also, and then Frank says on Brighton's second goal, great goal, but Vic could have done better. I'm happy with him though. I've spoken to him and he's had a great season for us so far. I think that's a good assessment. I think maybe he's being a bit kind to Vic. Some would say it's a really bad mistake, but I think we can all. I think when a manager comes out and says he could have done better, I think behind closed doors he's probably giving him a bit more of a bollocking. Just seeing if this is going to be. Wow, what's taking so long to give it offside or not? I don't know. All right, let's get Ariane on. Let's see what he has to say to himself. Ariane, how you doing, my friend?
Great, on the roads in Toronto.
Oh my God, in Toronto.
Yeah.
Incredible. How's it been? How are you finding it? You watch it at the Scotland Yard?
It's been there. I watched the Scotland. That's why I'm going back home now. It was good to watch that game, the Scotland Yard, getting 2 goals like that. So good time.
Eyes on the road, Ariane. Eyes on the road.
Eyes are on the road.
Fantastic. What's your kind of takeaways from the game today?
I had a lot of pause. I think Brighton should be very thankful for that point. I think I was kind of listening to what you were saying earlier in the previous call. I think I don't think we ever got back into the game because I don't think we were ever out of the game. I think Brighton had a very clear plan. They came to play on the break. To their credit, that first break, very good. Second goal, definitely really sloppy from Bergvall. I would say that goal is honestly more on Bergvall than it is Vicario because, yeah, he should be doing better, but I think that clearance is more criminal than that save. And we go 2-0 down, but we just keep the pressure on the same way. Like, even at 2-0 down, we were saying, I was talking to Brian, I was like, we've been the better team. And we I think we got at least the point that we deserved, and we were unfortunate not to be able to score a third. I think Hertzler's right saying his team were the only ones looking to really score a third. I think we did slow down, but who cares? They were on the front foot for 4 minutes in that second half. That doesn't mean that they deserved any more than what they got.
Yeah. So you reckon Bergvall deserves more blame than Vicario? I mean, a shot from that angle, from that distance, you can't really expect that to be going in, can you?
If you look at it, the ball's got no spin and it moves a little bit. So I'm not saying it's a mistake from Vicario, definitely. And I think of all the keepers, I expect Vicario to be one of those saving that. But at the same time, it's not a howler. He definitely could be doing better. But I don't think it's like a criminal mistake. Like, how dare he let that go? And like, I've seen worse. And it's funny because I was here last week saying, "Oh, Vicario, we never have to talk about him." But
and here we are.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's an absolute howler. He could be doing better, but I think Bergvall just clearing it as lazy as he does, just basically passing it away to them and allowing that to happen in the first place is worse.
We changed things up in that second half, didn't we? Brought Xavi into the 10, put Bergvall a bit deeper. How do you think that affected the game?
Oh, massively. I mean, we had them completely, like, they were suffocating until, and that's why, like, some people are going to look at that and say, oh my God, Jean-Paul Van Hag scored an own goal. Well, yeah, because kind of similar to what Liverpool and Burnley, that Burnley game where at the 95th minute, it's a handball. It's like when you're living in their box, at some point, something's going to fall. And that's just what happened. Like, it went to Van Hecke. Could have been anyone else. Like the same goal we scored where Richarlison, takes a Neymar touch in front of the goal. Like, that's gonna happen when you're just in their box constantly, putting the pressure on, putting in balls, putting in crosses, putting in passes into the 6-yard box. It's gonna happen, and one fell to us. And honestly, we were unlucky not to score, more. I think, Simmons had 2 chances that were really good. One of them got on target. The other one that he sliced when it came to him from Kudus. And then, Kudus had that one shot that deflected off Dunk's foot that kind of hit the side netting. They had the penalty shout. Richarlison had a couple looks at the goal. Like, I think we had a lot of opportunities to even get 3 or 4. Didn't fall to us. I think we take a point at the Amex. Before this game, Brighton were the team with the least touches in their box in the league. So to do what we did to them was really impressive.
Tell me a bit more about Xavi playing in his more natural position. Do you think you saw a big difference there today from him?
I think what he brought was something I've seen in so many other, and we just missed it at Tottenham. Like, a player that he gets the ball and he just did something like that shot he had, that Verbruggen save from the bottom corner, when he just took it and he took it into the box and took a shot. It's like, that's just like a franchise player thing to do. Like, how many times did we see Son do that when he was at his prime? How many times did we see Kane just get the ball on the edge? Like, he brought some star power there, some unpredictable, something just quality. And he changed the game completely. And I think Bergvall was stinking it up in the 10. And when we moved him into the pivot, like, bringing him into the pivot, his game elevated massively. And then, we replaced him with Simmons, who plays his best in that 10 position. And I think Brighton had absolutely no answers. And that's why they conceded.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doggy getting his first start of the season as well. Thomas Frank, that's why I gave him as well. Frank at his press conference said he was absolutely exceptional. I thought he was almost unstoppable today.
Man of the match. No question. Man of the match. Unbelievable performance. Unlucky not to get even an assist or something to his name. I think he was, like, having him and Spence as our options is honestly unreal right now, because both of them are so good now, on good form at least. I mean, Udogie today, if Minte didn't score that goal in the first half, in the first few minutes, where, we just kind of looked out of shape, the shape was weird, and I think Van de Ven kept pushing. I think that's the main change tactic they made in the half. Van de Ven was, like, pushing so high up that they looked so dangerous on the break. We brought Van de Ven back, and so their break wasn't as threatening. And if we kept that in the first half, Minte was in Udogie's pocket the entire time. Every time they had, like, one dangerous long ball or something, Udogie just had it covered. So, unbelievable performance from Udogie. Easily my man of the match. Easily.
Does he start next game for you, left back? I mean, after Doncaster, no, next Premier League game.
I mean, not against Doncaster. He has to. I don't think you can really spin it any other way. If anything, maybe give Spence a shift at right back to give Poro a rest, playing 90 like pretty much every time. But I think against Wolves, he's better going forward. Like, they're there to be had defensively. Obviously, they haven't won a single game all season, even a draw. Like, I think we've got to start him. I think if you're thinking Udogie has to earn his next start, and you're thinking of a performance like today, so
yeah. 100%. What do you think we learned about the team today? Coming back from 2-0 down in these kind of circumstances, compared to what happened against Bournemouth when we were 1-0 down and didn't really do anything to affect the game after that moment. What would you learned about the team today?
I think definitely the biggest encouragement is that we all had a lot of questions after Bournemouth. We're like, well, that kind of game is really, really threatening for this team. And we had an even arguably bigger challenge this game, where it's away from home, Brighton are in very, very good form. Defensively, especially if they go 1-0 up, you're going to be worried. Like, we had a lot of questions. Can Frank handle this kind of game, or is he going to get a little outplayed because Brentford maybe haven't had to deal with this when in his tenure? But I think today he showed that he's absolutely capable. He's absolutely learned from that mistake in Bournemouth. I mean, the team 1-0 down, no drop. 2-0 down, no drop. If anything, the intensity went up, the levels went up, the performance went up. And I think it was very, very encouraging to see. It's a very spirited performance. Like to be 2-0 down at Brighton. We were 2-1 up last year at Brighton. And what happened?
We were 2-0
right?
up.
Like
We were 2-0 up, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying as soon as they score to make it 2-1, we crumble, right? And like just to the littlest amount of pressure. And today, completely opposite. So we kept piling the pressure on them. So I'm really, really pleased with Frank because he said he learned from that Bournemouth game, and I absolutely believe him now. I mean, the changes we made. Maybe the only criticism I'd have is the way we set up with Van de Ven pushing so high up that like his recovery pace and his recovery, which is like the best part of his game. Maybe that got nullified. That's why they ended up scoring on the break because Van de Ven's always the one who prevents from that from happening. But same thing. I'm sure Frank learned that this time. Maybe Romero's going to be the more advanced one, and Van de Ven's going to be there to clean it up. I don't know. I'm not the manager. He is, but I think the massive improvement, right, from Bournemouth at home to this game is absolutely just astronomical. And it like seeing us progress every game, because how many times in the last 5 years, 6 years, have we seen managers start well and regress instead of like we haven't seen them change and adapt and improve, like maybe Conte in his first season. But outside of that, it's always been a really, really strong start, and then we regress and everybody else gets better. And it seems like we're actually getting better game by game, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I'm definitely seeing improvements there, even though we were, down 2-0 and stuff. And I definitely saw some of the football we were playing. Even if you look at the first goal we scored, the intricate play between Odegaard, Bentancur, Kudus to engineer the opportunity. It seems as though we're definitely working our way and build up and starting to improve things, which is all I was asking for. So even though we didn't win today, I definitely saw improvements in certain things, which is really, really encouraging. And yeah, the fact we battled back from 2-0 down against a tough Brighton team shows really good mentality, and we never gave up. We just kept plugging away. I think, at the end of the day, it's a good point. You got to take the point at the end of the day in the certain circumstances.
If you look away games like that, if you gave it to me, if you said beforehand, hey, 1-1, good performance, you probably deserve more. Do you take that? I probably do. I honestly probably do. I'll say, yeah, it's Brighton. We should be beating Brighton. But there's no shame in a draw to Brighton, especially at 2-0 down. I'm pretty sure Arsenal lost to that ground last year, and so did we. And so did a lot of teams. They're a very tough team to go to.
Man City a couple weeks ago lost to them.
Man City a couple weeks ago. So definitely 100%. It's a good result. I think it solidifies a fantastic start to the season.
Ariane, appreciate you calling as always, mate. Drive safe, and we'll speak to you soon.
And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on! Hands on the wheel, Ariane. Hands on the wheel. Let's keep going. I think Chelsea have made triple substitution, incredibly, in this first half after that red card. Let's get Lewis on. Is he what? Oh, is there another super chat? No, I read that one already. Let me. Yeah, I read that one. Let's get Lewis on. How you doing, Lewis? Thanks for calling in again, mate. How you been? Long time no see.
Oh my god, I'm brilliant. I've lost my voice, by the way. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
It's that Tuesday night game I went to.
I see. You still haven't got your voice back from Villarreal.
No.
What did you think of today, though? Were you happy with the performance?
When we went, to be honest, I thought it was going to be an easy game because, I mean, that Brighton, they're a good side from my perspective, anyway. But when we went 2-0 down, I was a bit shocked. But overall, I think it was a good performance. We come back in the end, and the boys done really well. I think it was a really good performance. Oh my god, my voice.
It's all right. What changed the game for you, do you think?
Oh, don't know. It's everything really. The second half, the mentality changed. Like something must have been said in the dressing room, and then all of a sudden, bosh, that's it, 2-2. Shame that we couldn't get 3-2, but a result is a result. Still not a loss, which is good. So
Who do you give man of the match to?
that's a hard one, you know. I have no idea. They all played rubbish and good, so it's a bit hard to. Don't know.
Anyone? Go on, throw a name out there.
I can't even remember who played today. That is so bad.
Fair enough. You happy with Frank, though? Frank started to life at Tottenham?
Yeah. I mean, you know, brilliant. I've been laughing at Ansel Cogli most of the time. So he's losing all the time. I prefer Thomas, to be honest.
Yeah, he's been good, hasn't he?
Andrew's done us a good thing with his trophy, but you know, Thomas is good.
Absolutely. All right, Lewis. Appreciate you calling in, mate.
No
Thanks
worries,
for your
mate.
time. I hope you get your voice back, and
Yeah,
we'll see you soon. Nice one.
Right. Okay. See you, mate.
See ya. All right, that was Lewis. Let's get Bennett on. Bennett also in the car. Oh, and he's just gone.
Hello?
Oh, is he there? Oh, you're there. You're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Texas. Amazing.
Yeah, I love the show. Big fan.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you calling in. Where do you watch the game? Is there a Texas supporters club?
No, I actually just watched it in my room. I woke up at 9 a.m. and I was in bed and I watched it on my phone.
I see. And now what? You're out meeting to meet some people. Got a busy day ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to meet some family right now. Yeah.
Lovely. So how was the game early in the morning? You probably woke up to find us 2-0 down. You probably wanted to turn it off.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was very, very, very frustrated. I woke up, found us 2 down, and I think that first goal was frustrating. But again, like the way that everyone keeps saying, the way they responded, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy Thomas Frank. I think he's been a life changer for me. That first goal was really frustrating, though. I mean, I really don't think we should have conceded that one either. Like just the whole ordeal in the field, everyone's losing the ball up there, and then all of a sudden they get a huge counterattack, and that was frustrating.
Yeah, and the second goal as well. Should Vicario be doing better with that?
Yeah, I did. I love Vicario, man. I'm a huge Vicario fan, like huge Vicario fan. But I definitely think it was Bergvall. Yeah, dude, that was frustrating. I don't know. I think Vicario definitely should have gotten a hand on that at least, though.
Yeah, kind of let it slip through, and it was quite frustrating. But look, we came back from 2-0, didn't we? And you got to give the team credit, because not easy to do that against this Brighton team, who are not easy to play against. Have always known of putting good performances against good teams. This Brighton team. So, what do you think changed in the game to get us back into it?
Man, I think it was Xavi. Like, I think he changed the game for us. I think he was the game changer. As soon as I saw him go on the field, I was so happy, and he played the 10, and oh my gosh, I thought he played so well. I really did. I thought he played so well at the 10. I think as soon as Frank made those changes, I think that's good. I think, honestly, I worry sometimes that we won't make those changes, and Frank's just kind of like he's going to hope. But to see him actively make those changes and see he wants more, even though the team was playing, they were trying, but he wanted a little more. I think that, and honestly, dude, I agree with you what you said. I was listening about the Odegaard change. I don't really know if I would have taken him off, and I think if we did take him off, I think we should have put on Tell.
Yeah, I agree, because I think Johnson just, all of a sudden our creativity down that side disappeared. Whereas Doggy and Odobert were, and as well, I know Odobert wasn't doing much himself, but what he was doing, he was just doing those little link-ups with the Doggy and getting us into those areas. And Brennan, it just wasn't doing that. He completely stopped when Brennan came on. So that was quite frustrating. Yeah, Javi in the 10 was great. Tell me about Doggy as well. First start of the season for him. A lot of people giving him their man of the match. How did you feel he played?
I think he played amazing, dude. Oh my gosh, he was cooking. He was cooking on the end of the line. He was cooking hard. He had that right back or whatever on skates a few times. I really enjoyed that.
Do you think he comes in as our starting left back next game?
Like against next Wednesday?
Or maybe next Premier League game.
Okay, and they said y'all said it's against Wolves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does. I love Spence, but I think he does. I think that's a great game. I mean, they're bottom. They're 0-5. You know, like it's a great game for him to get some minutes and maybe get an assist, maybe a GA. You know, get something in there. Like, I think that'd be huge for him. But also, like, Spence really just wants game time. You know, so I understand the heat for the battle of that position. But also, I like what y'all said about giving Porro some time off. I think it's scary because he plays so much for Spain too. You know, like it's scary to me how much he plays because it's so close to an injury. But I mean, he's not very injury prone or anything, thankfully. But yeah, I think Udogie definitely starts, but I think Spence almost kind of comes in too.
And another game in Thomas Frank's tenure done today. And what do you think we learned from the team? You know, different from today, different to other games, maybe.
I think definitely, I think we learned a few things. I think everyone's been saying this. I think how bad we need a left wing. Oh man, it's bad. It's just, it's a gaping hole in our system, and it's just hurting us. I think we learned how much Kudus fights. I think not a lot of people talk about that. He fought the whole game. There wasn't a lot of times where he almost beat him, beat the defender, but he tried so much. I think that's what we didn't have last year, but we need. I think he definitely deserves maybe just a round of applause. Nothing, no flowers or anything, but I think we definitely learned that Thomas is, I think, the right guy for us right now too. You know, I think give Thomas some time. You know, give us a freaking left wing, and I think we're good. I really
think we're
do.
cooking. Nice one. Bennett, appreciate you calling in, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, and thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Everyone seems to be driving today. Don't know what's going on there. All right, is anyone else calling in? Oh, Man United nearly scoring again here. Last chance. Oh, I think it is 2-0. 2-0 to Man United. Casemiro. Chelsea in the mud. And with that, we'll leave you. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, people. We'll be back tomorrow for the lowdown with Brian Daigle on what happened today. And on today's game, we'll give a more breakdown, player ratings, some reacts and all that stuff. But we'll see you all very, very soon. Appreciate everyone for interacting with the stream today. Anyone who called in, joined in the watch along, all that stuff. We'll see you very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.